Hey parents, so we're reviewing for our test that's going to be on Friday. So for right now, this is part one. Part one has the kids solving mentally. So for first up, we have 82 plus 10. A way I want the kids to think about this is we always add our ones first. So 2 plus 0 is 2. Then we add our tens. 8 plus 1 is 9. So their answer would be 92 for this one. Next, we have 75 plus 30. Same idea. We're going to add our ones first, which is 0 plus 5. 0 plus 5 is 5. Then add our tens. 3 plus 7. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10. We would write this, put our 10 in front. It'd be 105. 105 as our answer. Some more examples for part one. Maybe the blanks are in different spots. Let's say if the blanks were in the beginning and we had 63 minus 11. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our ones first. 3 minus 1 is 2. Then our tens. 6 minus 1 is 5. 52 would be your answer. Another example, blank equals 177 minus 30. We're going to do our ones first. 0 and our 7 are in our ones place. 7 minus 0 is still 7. Now our tens place. 7 minus 3. If we have 7 and we minus 3, we have 4. We would have a 4 in our 10 spot. Now we minus our hundreds. 1 minus nothing is still 1. So our answer is 147. Now sometimes our blanks might be in another spot. Maybe they're within the answer, maybe they're within the question that gives you the answer in one of the numbers and you have to figure it out. So what if it says blank plus 10 equals 164? There's a couple ways we can think about this. We could let the kids think if they could think in their head. If we looked at the 10 spot, what number below the tens would then adding a 10 give you that number? So if the kid thought what number is below the 6 in the tens place, 6 tens minus 1 10 would give you 5 tens. They could think of it that way. Or I like for the kids to think of it backwards as well. So if the kids are working backwards, it would change into subtraction. So if you have 164 minus 10, 4 minus 0 is 4, 6 minus 1 is 5, 1 minus nothing is still 1. 154 would be the answer. I also want the kids, when they plug in a number, I want them to check their work. So let's say the kid does come up with a number. I want them to then sit and think, does this work? 4 plus my 0, oh, yep, there's my 4. 5 plus my 1, yep, there's my 6. 1 plus nothing, still 1, yep, there's my 1. Let's try another one. Blank minus 100 equals 61. Some of the students might be able to come up with this on their own, and they might be able to go ahead and tell you that the answer would be 161. But if the kid does not understand that, that's okay. I want them to work backwards. Backwards, they're going to change the sign. It becomes addition. So then they have 100 plus 61. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 6 is 6. 1 plus nothing is still 1, and they get 161. When the problems look like this, the kids are going to work backwards, but a lot of the times the kids can go ahead and think of it on their own as to what the answer would be. Once they plug in the answer, I want them to try it on their own. So then we have 1 minus 0 would still be 1. 6 minus 0 would still be 6. 1 minus 1, oh, that'd be a 0. All right, so that's all for part one. Next, we're going to move on to part two of the test. So in part 2, it wants the kids to solve using any kind of model, okay? So they've learned tons of ways to add and subtract, and they can do any way they want to. So if we have 97 plus 46, they have a ton of options. They have vertical form, they have picture, they have the new way of vertical way, they have the arrow way. I'm just going to show arrow way for this problem, but the kid could do anything they want, they just have to show it. So if I had 97, draw my arrow, and I'm adding. What's the closest whole number to 46? Would it be 40 or 50? Well, it's closer to 50, so I'm going to add 50. 7 plus 0 is 7. 9 plus 5. 9 plus 5 is going to be 14. But I'm not done yet. I have to draw my arrow again. It said 46, but I did 50. I'm going to have to subtract some to get back to 46. What's the difference between 46 and 50? Let's count. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 4. 4 is the difference. I'm going to subtract 4. 7 minus 4. If I have 7 and I subtract 4, I have 3. So I'm going to have a 3 in my ones. 4 minus nothing is still going to be 4. 1 minus nothing is still going to be 1. Now I have my answer, and I'm going to plug it in. The students can use any way to solve, though. It's whatever they choose. Another example, what if it's asking the kids to add 4 numbers? This can get tricky and kind of messy. 48 plus 78 plus 81 plus 13 equals what? So for this problem, they could still use arrow way, they could still use vertical. Picture would be really messy. I don't think I would suggest picture, but they just need to do it in steps. So first thing they could do, I'm going to show you vertical way. They can set up 48 plus 78. 8 plus 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's a doubles fact. They should know that, but just in case, they can still use their fingers. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The answer would be 12. So we have 1/2, but we're not done. We need to figure out what this half is. 81 plus 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. 8 plus 1 is 9. Still not done. This is where it gets confusing. You have 2 numbers. You need to add those 2 numbers together. So then you'll have 126 plus 94. 6 plus 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0 on the bottom, 1 carries to the top. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 9 would be 12. Carry your 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So your answer is 220. The kids could solve this using whichever way they want. The answer just has to be correct in the end. All right, we're going to move on to part 3. So now on part 3 of the test, it's going to say solve, use any model, and explain. Again, they have free choice as to whatever they want to do. But this time there's something different added on. They have to also explain why they did something. So I have 81 minus 34 equals what? So now I'm going to do arrow way for this one. I would set up my 81, draw my arrow. And it says minus 34. Which whole number is closest to 34? Is it 30 or 40? Well, 30 is closer, so I'm going to subtract 30. Now, 0 minus 1 is still 1. Sorry, 1 minus 0 is still 1. 8 minus 3 is 5. But I'm not done. It said 34. I've only done 30 so far. I need to draw my arrow. I still need to minus 4 more. This is where it can get really tricky, because doing 1 minus 4, some students may mess up on that. So let's try something a little different. Let's just only subtract 1 right. They will know in their head that they need to subtract 1, or they need to subtract 4. So maybe I just want to put a 4 up here, but right now let's just subtract 1 first. 51 minus 1 is 50. They can know that they're still not done yet. They still need to subtract 3 more. Now this is easier for them. They can think of it as 10 minus 3 is 7. So they know their 1s would be a 7, and they would know that their 5 is going to have to go down a number, making it 4. One number below 5 is 4, and their answer ends up being 47. Alright, so there's one example, but it also says you have to explain. So I would say, I subtracted 81. I subtracted 34 from 81 by using the arrow way. This works because 34 was still taken away. So I just need to talk about how it still works just as if they would have done it another way. All right, so the next practice problem, still on part 3, could be 164 plus 67. For this one, I choose to do vertical and picture. So first, my vertical, 164 plus 67. 7 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 plus 6 is a doubles fact, it's 12. 12 plus 1 would then be 13. 1 plus 1 is 2. We have 231, but we can't stop there. We need to do our picture. We will have a hundreds, a tens, and a ones column. First number we're going to draw is our 167. All right, there's our oops, my bad. I actually said 167. It's actually 164. That could have messed up my whole problem. I got to be very careful. So 164. Now I'm adding 67, so I'm going to leave a space. I'm going to add 6 tens and 7 ones. All right, now I need to count up my ones. Do I have more than 9? Yes. If I have more than 9, I got to regroup. So I have 7, 8, 9, 10. I can circle 10, draw an arrow, and add a dot. Do I have more than 10? Do I have more than 9 in my tens place? Yes. So I'm going to circle 10 of them. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw an arrow, put a dot. Now that I've regrouped them, let's see how many I have. 2 in the hundreds, 3 in the tens, 1 in the ones. My answers match, so I feel confident. Now it says explain. Let's see. So you could say, this works because I regrouped in my ones and tens to solve. And you can add any kind of detail. So you can talk about your picture, you can talk about your vertical form. In your vertical form, you're still regrouping because that's what's going on at the top right here, okay? You can talk about how you carried over. You can say when I got more than 9 in a group, I regrouped them. Anything like this, just explaining what you did and why it worked. All right, we're going to move on to part 4 now. All right, so part 4, explain why 2 ways are correct. So it's going to show you something like this. So it might have Sam over here, and it'll have Jane over here. Both of them are going to do a problem, the same problem, which is 135 plus 22, but they're going to solve it in 2 different ways. Sam is going to choose the arrow way, so he's going to do 135 plus 10 equals 145 plus 10, which equals 155 plus 2, which equals 157. Jane, on the other hand, Jane's going to do something that looks like this. She's going to go 135 plus 20 plus 2 equals 157. Now, if you look, they both have the same answer. So since they both have the same answer, you know that they're both correct, which is still okay, since they both have the same answer. Now, it says explain why the 2 ways are correct. So if you're going to explain why they're both correct, you are then going to use words to describe why they are correct. So, Sam is correct because she added 22 by first adding 2 10s and then 2 1s. Now you have to come over and say why Jane is correct. Jane is correct because she broke 22 into 10s and 1s. Period. She added 20 and then 2. So the top part, all up here, will be done for your child, and they will just have to then give their explanation as to why both people are correct. So you just have to know that no matter what method someone uses, they could still be correct in their answer. So that's all for part 4. We're going to move on to part 5. Alright, so on part 5, you're finding the missing number. So if I have 78, and it says plus 10 blank, arrow, there's a blank here, and the last number says 89. So first we're going to start at the beginning. 78 plus 10, we can do that. 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. Oh, we have 88. Now this is the hard part. How do we get from 88 to 89? Did we add or subtract? Well, we got bigger, so we added. The 1s are the only thing that changed, so we added 1. That's that one. There might be something a little more complicated, such as 7 10s plus 3 1s equals 80 minus blank. Something to know is that both sides are equal. But to figure out this, we have to figure out this side over here. Well, let's solve. 7 10s is written as 70. 3 ones is written as 3. 70 plus 3 is 73. So we know that this right here has to equal 73. So we have to think in our head, 80 minus what will give us 73? Something I like to do is count up. I like to take my number 73 and count up until I get to 80. So 73 in my head, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Wow, I got 7. So 80 minus 7 is 73. Still on part 5, I'm going to show you one more example. We could have 49 plus blank equals 92. For this problem, another way to think about this is like I talked in the very beginning of the video, to work backwards. When we work backwards, we change the sign, so it's no longer addition, it's subtraction. So it's thought of as 92 minus 49. I like to solve it using arrow way, so you could do 92 minus, closest number to 49 is 50. 2 minus 0 is still 2. 9 minus 5 becomes 4. Do your arrow again. It said 49, but we did 50. We need to add back 1. 42 plus 1 is 43. So my answer is 43. When I get this, I don't just trust my answer, I check it, because this is a grade and I want to make sure I get it right. So I'm going to take 49 plus 43, and I do vertical way just because I feel pretty confident in it. Choose any way you want. 9 plus 3 gives us 12. 4 plus 1 gives us 5. 5 plus 4 gives us 9. Do my answers match? If so, that means I'm correct and I can keep moving. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this part. We're going to move on to part 6. All right, so on part 6 we have word problems, and they continue, and I'm going to read them out loud. Pam went shopping. Pam spends $54 on groceries and $38 on clothing. How much more did Pam spend on groceries than on clothing? We have to listen to our problem. Is it wanting us to add, or is it wanting us to subtract? Well, it says how many more than. So that's going to mean that we're going to subtract. So we're going to subtract these numbers. So we're going to take 54 minus 38. So we're going to have 4 minus 8. We can't do that, so we cross out the 4. The 4 becomes a 14. The 5 becomes a 4. 14 minus 8. So I'm going to put 8 in my head. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I get 6. Then I have 4 minus 3, which is 1. My answer is 16. I need a sentence. So I'd say Pam spent $16 more on groceries than on clothing. All right, so then we're going to move on to the next problem. These all build on each other. So for the next problem, it reads, after Pam's shopping trip, she had $14 left. That's all she had left was $14. How much money did she have to begin with? Well, to figure out how much she had to begin with, we have to know how much she spent. We know she spent 54 on groceries and 38 on clothing because the last problem told us that. We're now going to add all of these numbers up to figure out what she began with. So first, I might want to do 14 and 54 together. 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 5 is 6. Now I might want to take my 68 plus my 38. Doubles facts, 8 plus 8, 16. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 3 gives us 10. So I have 106. So for my answer, I would not just write 106. I would say Pam began shopping with $106. Complete my sentence. Next, we're going to move on to the other problem. It says, if Pam hadn't have purchased the clothing, would she have been able to afford a $35 necklace? So we have to figure this out. If she started out with $106, she spent the groceries. The groceries is $54. The groceries are staying. So let's go to figure out this first. 6 minus 4 is 2. 0 minus 5, we cannot do that. Our 1 becomes a 0. Our 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. So $52. After groceries, she had $52. And it says, if she hadn't have purchased the clothing, so this is without the clothing included, would she have been able to afford a $35 necklace? Well, yeah, because she had $52. So your answer would be yes, because by only spending money on the groceries, she would have had $52 left, which would have given her plenty of money to buy the $35 necklace. All right, next. The next question asks, how much money would Pam need to buy groceries, clothing, and the necklace? Wow, this sounds like we're adding. They want us to take the groceries, which is $54, the clothing, which is $38, and the necklace. The necklace, if you look up a problem above it, the necklace is $35. So it's asking how much money she would need. We're adding 3 numbers. I would take the 54 plus the 38. 8 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 92. We're not done. We still have to add our 35. So we're going to add up our 35. 5 plus 2 is 7. 9 plus 3 is 12. So then we would write our problem. We'd need to give it a sentence. And we would talk about how Pam would need $127 in order to be able to buy groceries, clothing, and the necklace. So everything that she wanted to get. Alright, so you can review these problems in this video. These problems are very similar to the ones that are going to be on the test on Friday. Thank you.